talk about those kind of like manic days of doing like so many episodes. Do they kind of stories and episodes kind of cross over? So you might go, okay, do a bit of this one here after say half the day, then do another half of this episode that second half, and then kind of go to a different one the next day and this and that, or do you
Yeah.
just focus on one episode
Nah.
per day?
If
Per
you're
day?
doing a series, it could end up being multiple different shoots. I remember as well, there was a time when I was doing 2 1 hour specials and I filmed them both at the same time. They were completely different subject matters, but they got filmed at the same time. So I might have
Mm.
been in a week, I might have been doing 3 shoots for each of those different programs. It's also knowing how to turn that mind on, because one of them was a little bit more light, so I could be a little bit more, but then one of them was actually quite dark. So it's
Mm.
like I had to kind of be in my zone for that one as well. Yeah, do you know
Yeah,
what? One thing I don't talk about enough is just how much it takes out of you mentally and
yeah.
emotionally.
I was gonna get into
Doing
that,
things
man.
like that. Yeah, yeah, doing them
Yeah.
under.
Yeah, cause I was going to get into the kind of how it affected you. Because like we've mentioned things like sort of stop and search, the one punch killers, too, those sort of things. I remember watching you on the right stuff actually a while back talking about
Yeah.
the 8-year-old smugglers, drug
Oh
smugglers.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, how you see they don't really talk about it that much. I mean, how does it affect you though when you do such dark things, man? Like, did it affect you physically and mentally? How does it affect you, bro?
Yeah, do you know, if I'm really honest, yeah, I remember there was a scene that I filmed in 8 years old and smuggling drugs, where after I had filmed it, I had got I had got incredibly emotional.
Hmm.
Like I remember I felt like I wanted to cry.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell's happening here? Because I'm quite a, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
quite a
Yeah.
stern. But then what I think it was is that the 2 young men that I spoke to, it made me emotional because I could see where their life was going, but they couldn't see it.
Hmm.
And it just really, I don't know, bro. Like I remember I couldn't even finish doing the piece to camera. Piece to camera is when you're just looking at the camera, I'm doing like a talking bit.
Okay. Yeah.
I just couldn't even do it, bro. I just got so emotional, and I was like, this is mad, like,
Hmm.
and that's what happens. I did another story about a girl called Sophie Lancaster who was killed and bullied for being a goth, like just the way that in which she was like beaten by some idiots and passed away just to stop. And then meeting her mum, the whole story was just like, it was just deeply emotional, bro. I remember her mum gave me like a wristband that had SOPHIE on it because the mum made a foundation called the Sophie Foundation. It stood for Stamp Out Prejudice, Hatred, Intolerance Everywhere. I remember I kept that band on for years, bro.
Hmm.
I think I only took it off because I think I was swimming somewhere or doing something somewhere. I took it off and that was the first time I took it off, and I haven't really put it on since then. But I had it on my wrist literally for years, bro.
Really?
I wore it everywhere, yeah, because these
Wow.
stories like they stay with you, bro. They affect you,
Of
right?
course you do.
And I don't really speak about it. People will say, "Oh, how do you do it?" And I'm like, to be honest, I'm all right. I am good, but if I'm really honest, bro, like sometimes the level of trauma, the level of devastation that I've seen and people that I've met who've gone through it, you have to be a complete alien or completely insensitive to not feel that pain as well. Do you know what I mean?
Of course, bro. I mean, have you had to kind of talk to people afterwards about your feelings afterwards, like even like maybe therapists or even just like family and friends to say, look, this is really taking its toll on me, like mentally and physically. I've seen a lot of stuff recently.
Do you know what? That's something that I've been looking into because I spoke to a therapist and she was really angry at me because she's saying that even her as a therapist, she has someone that she offloads onto. She said to me
Mm,
that anyone that has people who offload onto them, whether it be a professional capacity or not, they need to have someone who they offload onto as well because she called it breaking the cycle. If you don't
mm,
offload yours as well, you're breaking the cycle.
of
And
course.
so something that I've been looking at, especially if I'm going to go into doing any more darker documentaries, which at the moment doesn't seem like it's going to happen. But if I do, and even in general, I think I'm going to find a therapist to speak to just to like kind of like speak through some of the things that I've seen and heard and and
Yeah,
experience because I think there's a stigma with therapy, but I don't think there needs to be a stigma.
of
I think
course not.
people need to speak to someone sometimes, and even just in general, just sometimes just get things off your chest that maybe you're dealing with on a day-to-day basis that you don't really have someone around you that you can speak to because maybe
Yeah,
it's a bit too personal.
of
Speak
course,
to a
bro.
therapist, man, and just get it off your chest. Sometimes it's not even just about getting therapy; it's about offloading.
Yeah,
Crazy.
definitely. Of course, bro. Because this is what I've actually mentioned to a few friends of mine actually during the podcast, where even podcasting is in a way therapy because, like you just said, when
Oh
you're
yeah,
getting things off your chest, man, like people wouldn't know about you. And
yeah.
like you said, like I'm fine, I'm cool, but really you're going through a lot. And
Oh
just to
yeah, bro.
let
Yeah,
people know about what you are dealing with is such a weight off your shoulders, isn't it? And it's not a
hundred
bad thing
percent.
at all. It shouldn't be a stigma about what, especially guys go through, man, because we go through a lot of bullshit, man. Like they think, oh, we're guys, we don't feel emotion, we don't do this or that, but we go through a lot of things, man. And yeah, we have to put on a strong face sometimes, but just getting things off your chest, man, is such a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're right. And I think, do you know what it is? I think that is the problem with there as well. Like, oh, we're guys, we don't feel things. That is the stereotype that a lot of us trying to subscribe to. But the truth is, if we're really honest, us men are probably even more emotional.
Yeah.
And the reason we are is because we have so much pent up emotional baggage that we feel like it's not manly to express or release it. In
Mm.
fact, what we need to do is start becoming more open. In fact, I was talking to my friend yesterday about this because we've got quite a few things that are happening around us right now in my friendship circle. Quite a few illnesses. There's been a few deaths. There's been incarceration, all types of things. And it's
I'm
like
sorry to hear, bro.
one thing that we were talking about is that we need to be more open. But even
Mm.
in our friendship circles, we tend to not be open enough. Like we don't tell each other everything that's happening. And that is that whole silly machismo,
Yeah.
over masculinity type thing that's going on right there. We need to drop that
Yeah, 100%.
and be open.
100%.
Because if you can't be open with your closest friends, who can you be open with? Do you know what I
No,
mean?
I couldn't agree more. I was about to say the same thing. Like, if you can't open to your closest friends, then who can you talk to?